No, I think what
The
it
feng
is.
shui in the room? It
No.
doesn't go with the feng shui?
What she knows.
I don't care what brand chair you get.
She-
Just get
What did you call me?
She knows that if I have one of those, that's where I'm at. Like,
That's
I'm
right.
not leaving.
Yeah.
I'm sleeping there. Whatever.
That's all you need.
Okay.
All right, we're live on YouTube.
Live on YouTube. I think we're live on Facebook.
All right.
I'm not going to check Facebook because I don't care.
What?
It looks like it stopped, but. All right. Boom. All right, I'm going to go 3, 2, 1. We'll go silent for a couple seconds and we'll just roll into it. You ready? Okay. Jose?
Ready, sir.
Matt?
Do it.
Go ahead.
3, 2, 1. All right, everybody, we are streaming live again. Don't know how much of it is working. I think we've got Instagram going and Facebook going, and Jose said we got YouTube going. And somehow we talked Jim from Ground Pounder Coffee to come into the studio, and he walks in here and says, "So how's this go?" And we said, "You're about to find out. click this button."
You tell us.
So welcome
How
to
do you want it to go?
Yeah, right. Easy.
Yeah. Welcome to the Trail Chaser Studio, man. Thanks for being here.
It's good to be here, man.
Yeah. So backstory here is there's a guy I used to go wheeling with 20 years ago. We were good friends, and you know how things happen and people move around and what have you. And his name was Bob, and we lost touch. And through a series of circumstances, I'm at a party a week ago or so, and Bob shows up, and we're having this conversation, and he's asking me about my Tacoma and what I've been doing with the podcast. And he says, "Yeah, my brother-in-law's got this awesome company going on, and he's really trying to kind of promote it." And I'm like, "What is it?" And he says that it's a Ground Pounder Coffee, and I'm like, "I know that guy. I follow that guy." So through Bob, we got to connect, and you got to come into the show, and thank you for being here. So again, so we talked about it early when you walked in. This is the shit show because we're trying to do it live and recorded at the same time. So you're extremely brave for being able to come here and do
I
this.
just knew I didn't want to be on the casting.
Yes, Matt's
Oh.
Matt, you know what? Matt has got, this is the second week in a row.
You are also closer to the Chernobyl potential.
Yes,
Chernobyl
the
event.
nuclear fallout machine is right
by the
here.
computer.
All right.
So
If it starts vibrating.
when it blows up,
If
Put
it
it this
starts
way.
vibrating, there's room over here on the casting couch.
Roasted chestnuts is inappropriate because all the
Nice.
computers are down there, so I'm just letting you know.
and it used to be aimed specifically
Yeah, it was
at
right at
Jose's
me.
roasted chestnuts. Full disclosure, I don't drink coffee. So like,
Full disclosure,
Yeah.
I love coffee.
yeah. So of all the things that I've done in my life to disappoint my father, not drinking coffee, I think, is at the top of it because
Yeah,
my
oh,
father
yeah.
survives. He even said this weekend, "I don't even know how you're from my loins because you don't drink coffee."
That was
That's
close.
almost-
He said loins. The funny thing is, down at the event down in Escondido at what was the beer
The
thing?
Brewfest at
Brew-
Stone Brewery.
That's right. I won a package through the
Yeah, I was there.
raffle. Yeah, I won that, and so I'm a new coffee drinker. I just bought a Keurig like 3 weeks ago, and I realized, oh my god, I have a whole bag of coffee that I won. So I went to go brew it this weekend, 4 pops, and it's
Whole bean.
whole beans. And I went, oh, dude, how do I make this happen?
I remember my first cup of coffee.
Nice.
Yeah. So I still have to figure that out.
Dude, there's a whole
like
art to it.
It's a grinder.
I was going to say, some kind of mincing device.
Or a
You
blender.
dice it.
A
You dice it.
smasher,
You dice it really thinly,
super sharp
and
knives or
then
something.
put it in one of those Keurig screen
It's called a
things.
blender. Man.
Yeah, for some reason, tea. I love tea. I will drink all kinds of tea. Coffee, I can't do.
Well, we just added NT to
Oh,
Ground Pounder
sweet.
coffee.
Okay, I'm ready to ground pound tea. Let's do this.
There you go. There you go.
So tell me about Ground Pounder. How long have you been doing it? What caused you to start it? What's the background?
Many, many years of absolute marginal coffee. It started about 4 years ago. Took us about a year to get the name, logos, approvals. We went through some really big nightmares with packaging. A massive financial setback with the first batch that we did. We got all the way to packaging and found out that we couldn't do it because of some verbiage on the stickers.
Oh no!
It was an absolute crash. I mean, it probably cost about $5,000. Not huge, but when
No,
you're
that's
first starting,
when you're. I tell you what, if something here costs $5,000,
it hurt.
this show would be done. Like it'd be over.
It hurt. So it really. Ground Pounder started on a flight. I met the gentleman who has kind of mentored me through this.
Oh, really?
Sitting across from me, he kept on eyeballing me, and I thought this conversation's probably going to go somewhere I didn't want to go. And then partway through the flight, I feel this tap on my arm, and he mentioned something about my tattoo and my watch, and the conversation really sprung. And we became friends. I lied to him about what I did. It was super funny. So it took probably 3 more conversations on the phone after the flight to tell him exactly what I do. And so he says, if you want to start a coffee company, I'm your guy. And he really mentored me through, except the one part where I lost all the money. Believe me, that was a sharp phone call that he said that if you hadn't learned that lesson, you wouldn't be where you are today.
Yeah.
That's kind of where it started from. Some guy admiring my tattoos,
How
which could have gone really weird.
That is so
That's
funny.
not weird.
Yeah, that's so funny how, like, what seems to be like a bizarre interaction ends up, how long later at something that you're passionate about and you're dumping everything into.
Absolutely.
That is crazy.
Right.
That worked out that way. Speaking of, you said getting the logo and the name, where did Ground Pounder come from?
So Ground Pounder Coffee, Ground Pounder. I wanted to stay away from anything military.
Yeah.
However, I got to stick with it. So Ground Pounder is what we call grunts.
Yeah.
I was in the Army for quite some time and also in the Navy after that. So Ground Pounder was part of it. Just first thing. That evolved into, how are you as an adventurer pounding ground?
Yeah.
How are you getting out in the world and experiencing it? So that started into the adventure world. We don't care what you're doing as long as you're not sitting in a coffee shop somewhere.
Absolutely. I love that.
So that's Ground Pounder. And the logo came out of a mountain, solid base. It originally had one peak, and then I thought, ooh, my wife, I got to add another peak in there for her. So it evolved a couple times, but that's where it came from. It took a little while to come up with the final. Then we got it registered, and it's for real now. So,
That's awesome. And how long ago was that?
probably about 3.5 years now.
Okay, wow. So this is not a new project. This
Oh,
is
no.
something that's been in the works for. When was that? How long ago was that flight?
5 years ago.
No kidding.
Yeah, it's been quite some time ago.
Wow. Yeah,
And I
that's-
still know that guy, and he still helps me out quite a bit.
Wow, and that is that's a testament to like the entrepreneurial spirit of, hey, this spark happens on this flight. You get this idea. There's setbacks. There's things going on, and you keep plugging through until you work through it and are able to make it something 5 years later.
Believe me, that perseverance isn't me, because I probably was going to bail on this 10, 20 times. But my wife and Ryan, who's our IT guy, he and we got a dog losing their mind.
Yeah, my dogs are losing their minds in the background. Matt, will you go see what's going on?
So you want me to go on a mission?
You've got the wireless. Go
Yeah.
kick them. I don't know what is happening back there. So, it's very weird that Matt's walking through the house now with a
weird,
wireless
yeah.
mic on.
Who knows what's going to
Yeah, who knows what he's going to do to those dogs. So 5 years later, you've got the logo. You've been through a couple setbacks. You start to get momentum. When did you feel like, okay, this is a thing? Like, when did it stop being? And I hate to use the term startup, but when did it stop being, this is something I'm going to do, to become, this is what I'm doing?
Totally. So we came out with a challenge first. And challenge was the rough start. It was selling, but people just, they're all around another company and blah, blah, blah.
And challenge was the name of a
Challenge
land?
is the first coffee.
Okay.
Once the next year rolled around, and that's when I had a couple conversations with both Ryan and my wife, and I was like, listen, we've either got to go all in or I'm out. And my wife's like, well, we've come this far. They say that it's 3 to 5 years
Yeah.
to be successful, and you're only in number one. So I was like, all right, that's the game. So we came out with 3 more roasts, and that really started picking up momentum. And not until probably 6 months ago did we actually finally decide this is 100% legit.
Really?
This is, I mean, not legit because we've been legit. For
Yeah,
a
yeah,
year,
but I
but
know
we're
this
running
is,
with
yeah,
this.
yeah.
We're
this
going
This is a
full
full thing. Yeah.
Yes. We've
Wow.
now partnered with 2 other off-road groups. Going to have coffees coming out for them. We've done a couple other roasts, so 3 are coming out probably in the next couple weeks.
Wow.
It's growing.
What's
rapidly.
I know nothing about coffee, but how do you identify this is what a roast is going to be, and then what's the time frame to be able to test it and then actually put it in people's cup?
Boy, that's a long time. So we have somebody that sources our beans,
Okay.
and I get a roast in my mind. I know what I'm looking for. Like I'll just say right now, Off the X is coming out.
Okay.
I knew that I wanted another light roast, but I wanted some of the flavors from a dark roast in it. So you pick some beans, you go to the facility, you start the roaster up, and you start playing with different roasts. And once it comes out, you cup it. Cupping is a weird process. It's kind of nerdy, but that's what people do with it. And then you start getting the nuances, all the flavors out of a coffee. And sometimes that takes a lot longer, and you burn up a lot of coffee, waste it, throw it away, before you finally get that one cup that you're like, this is it.
Wow. And I bet as you're doing it, you're like, you would have to be constantly monitoring and recording. Okay, for this cup,
Everything.
we used this many ounces of X, Y, and Z.
What's at the end of it?
Oh,
I have a question. Do you know Juan Valdez?
I do not, but I wish I did.
Have you met Juan Valdez?
No,
Okay.
I wish I'd had.
Is he a fictional character or is he a real
no,
person?
I believe he's a fictional character.
But somebody's in the photos.
Okay.
That's
Exactly.
not really
Who
one.
is that?
He's like the Dos Equis
Who's
guy.
that?
He's like
Yes.
that guy. There's actually somebody.
I've seen the Dos Equis guy.
But yeah, he's
There's-
actually somebody, but his
Yeah.
character is
He went to the
fictitious.
moon.
Huh?
Dos Equis guy.
What's his name?
He went to the moon. That's it. And that was it. Never mind.
I don't remember that.
You know what?
I don't drink beer either, so I don't know. Pay attention to Dos Equis commercials.
You don't drink coffee.
I don't drink beer.
Just tea.
But when I
So wait,
tea,
you
yeah.
also don't drink coffee. Does that mean we're going to have like a beer representative next week?
Oh,
Or
yeah.
can we do that?
You guys love beer. If you want to get a beer dude in here, do it.
I want to be a beer dude.
you are a beer dude. You don't even
okay.
it's already happening.
As long as it's Coors Light, I'm good.
Yes.
So will you
God.
drink? We drink coffee beer because we're
Dude.
in the process of partnering with a
Oh.
couple brewers
That's a
to do a
thing?
coffee
Oh yeah,
stout.
dude.
Yeah,
Come on.
He just got a little tingle inside.
yeah, coffee stouts are pretty big. We've got a couple
That's
people.
Carlos was underneath the table. I
No
think.
kidding. So coffee with alcohol in it? Is that like?
Well, it's alcohol with coffee in it.
Oh, that's
So it's a stout that's
that
coffee flavored.
sounds like the
That sounds like
exact
something that would
opposite.
just
I would.
Yeah,
that would
keep
kill
coming
me.
away
Dude,
from
That
you
would kill me.
for a
Remember,
long time.
Remember Drew Carey show, Buzz Beer? That's what their beer was.
Was it?
Coffee beer.
Oh no. That
Just a weird random fact, by the way. Another useless fact.
another
that
useless fact.
that I have in my head.
Yes, thank you for that. Today's useless fact brought to you by. So time wise, going through that whole process on average, is it a month? Is it a year?
6 months to a year probably
Really?
because I've got to travel and I don't roast mine in state. I rent time on an old 1939 machine,
Oh wow.
so that involves a little bit more. And then there's certification processes for organic certs. All of our coffees are kosher certified, and kosher is a lot more than just somebody coming in and blessing it.
Yeah.
I like that certification over all of them. But then fair trade, organic, there's certain things that just take some time.
So on the business side, there's a lot of. So even if you got a coffee in 4 months, like if this is the one, there's still
a lot more to go.
logistics and business stuff on the back end.
Get labels approved, get all kinds of things approved.
I had a question with the roasting process. So I know a lot of coffee, like there was a big deal out of mold growing on the coffee beans. Is that like a big prevalent issue in the roasting, like the coffee, like roasting community? Or
I
is
can
it-
say that I've never had mold growing
Oh,
on my
really?
beans.
Okay.
So that sounds like a
Are
problem.
we talking about coffee?
Yeah,
or-
right. Yeah.
Oh no, it's just I know a lot of coffee like.
What? Because it sits?
Well,
Well,
yeah,
no, it's just where they source the beans from. Like
Oh.
there's like micro mold.
there are some facilities that we do
Jose,
not
this
get
wasn't
beans
supposed to
from.
be a hard-hitting interview, dude.
No,
Yeah, I know. You didn't know it was an expose.
No, I'm just saying if he.
Jose's
Has
about
he
to
had
break
to
out
deal
the
with it?
microscope and take one of those beans and look
No.
at it.
No, he deals with beans, dude. I don't know.
So have you ever left a pot of coffee sitting on the burner after you've shut it off?
Yes.
If you come back in a couple days, there will be mold growing
Yeah,
on the top
sure.
of it. It grows things pretty rapidly. I don't know why.
Yeah,
it's just one of
whatever
those
the makeup
things.
is. Yeah.
There's none on mine.
Okay, good.
I
And,
guarantee you that.
So the build of the business and I'm sure the website, the social media, and all that stuff, is that stuff you guys are primarily doing yourself, or is,
100%.
yeah?
Yeah, just Ryan and myself. Ryan's been a huge asset to me because I'm a dinosaur. Mice, I'll go through 7 of them in a week because if the little balls don't spin right or whatever, I guess that might be inappropriate. I'm sorry. But,
No, Matt's balls hadn't spin right in his mouth for a while. So
But, I'm not a techie guy, but I have designed quite a bit of the site. But Ryan helps me out when I get stuck for sure. He's been a huge asset. My wife, she more comes in on the creative side of it.
Okay.
Ask her some things about logo design, or not logo design, but
Graphic
packaging
design.
designs and things like that. So, yeah, it's in the social media end of it. Good Lord, I didn't know anything of that. As a matter of fact, I remember asking somebody, "What the hell is a hashtag?" And that hasn't been that long ago.
Matt
so-
and I had that conversation 3 weeks ago.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
nice.
still don't know what a hashtag is. That's the
this
pound
weekend we're doing our family Christmas, and we're sitting there, and he's sitting next to me, and I'm scrolling through Instagram, and I double tap a picture to like it, and he's like, "Oh, you can do that?"
sign. Yeah, hilarious. Who cares?
That's pretty good.
Everybody here cares.
You know what? Probably half the people listening didn't even know that.
But I'm
Probably.
sympathetic with you because I get it.
Thank you,
I see
John.
people do things
Right.
on Instagram. I'm like, whoa, do that again.
Well, in full disclosure, the whole going live like 3 weeks ago, I think we were like googling how do you go live
Yeah.
on Instagram, like so everybody's doing it. We're trying to figure it out as we go. So what kind of how many different blends or roasts or whatever you call them? How many different variations do you have of the coffee right now?
We'll have 9 here in a couple days. So.
No kidding.
Okay,
it's-
I have a question. Do you have decaf?
Yes.
And
perseverance.
how does that? How do you decaffeinate coffee?
Oh, there's a couple different processes. Not without getting into the nuts and bolts of it, but it's
No, give me
there's
the
one
nuts and
that's water
bolts.
and there's one that's chemicals. And the chemical one, they changes the flavors of the beans. That's what took us so long to come out with Perseverance because it was one after another of just marginal turnouts. So we ended up going with a natural decaf, which is a water process, and the flavors are on point. It's a Colombian decaf, and I actually have people that are stopped drinking caffeinated coffee and moved to Perseverance. So
That's crazy. I don't even like the idea that you're gonna change the chemical basis of this bean to remove the good part. I don't understand it. Like,
right,
That's the part.
there's some other things that are questionable like that too. But
Oh yeah, for sure. That's like
Why?
anything that's decaf. I'm doing like I do mostly diet and sugar free.
O'Doul's.
Same. Yeah. Well, yeah. O'Doul's for drinkers. I'll tell you a story about that. A buddy of mine years ago, he's like, I'm drinking too much. So he'd come home and just have a couple beers. Next thing you know, he's finished a 6-pack. So he would go buy a pack of regular beer and a pack of O'Doul's. And he would drink a regular one and then an O'Doul's and a regular one and an O'Doul's because he liked the taste of beer. And he said that helped him get to the point where he'd drink 6, but only 3 of those were alcoholic, and he felt better about it, and
Yeah,
it
all right.
helped him tone it down. So I personally,
Sounds like a Coors Light drinker. To me. That's how as far as O'Doul's is concerned, come on.
is your mic on? Did you turn it off?
It keeps turning itself off.
It's on now.
It's on now. Yeah. Well, I don't think anybody caught what you said
I don't
about.
think anybody listens to me anyhow.
Well, and why are you pointing it down at your chin? When did Matt become a rapper? He's holding his mic like this.
Hey, why don't you comment more on stuff people can't see? That's fine. It's a podcast. I'm off in the corner. Whoop. Something's happening.
Something's happened on the Cassie Cup. So back to Ground Pounder. 9 variations. It's taken you 5 years to get there. What kind of what's your primary mode of marketing the product out right now?
outdoor world. So we don't have a physical location.
Okay.
We sell online and out of the vehicle. That's our Jeep, which has a slide out thing designed by both myself and Gabe at SoCal Teardrops. He custom made this beautiful stainless steel aluminum slide out system that originally had 2 100 cup brewers on it.
Wow.
It was okay, but we had some issues with power. And when you're doing a 100 cup brew, it's very difficult to control the flavors at the end. And I found myself apologizing to people as I'm giving away this marginal coffee because it didn't brew right in this big thing. So then, probably about 4 or 5 months ago, I designed a custom pour over station. And a buddy of mine, we were trying to cut it out with a plasma table and making it out of aluminum. Boy, we hacked up a lot of metal. And sitting in the distance is another friend of mine who has never said what he did, but he's like, if you get me the plans for that, I'll get it made. Come to find out, he works in a commercial kitchen industry,
Oh,
fabricating.
yes.
So they made it with some high-tech plasma laser thing, I don't know, out of stainless steel.
Wow.
And we've been using that at the last couple of events that we've done, one at Casey and a couple others, and it works out perfect because now I can control everything about the brew. So when I give it to you, I know
Yeah,
it's my coffee.
that's awesome. And how technically hard is that? Like, again, as a non-coffee drinker, it's brown water. Like, I know that there's an
optimal temperature, man. You gotta
no. That's
get the
what I'm
light.
saying. So technically what are the variants that create the coffee to not taste right?
So that's kind of funny because there is an absolute science to it. There is
Oh, I'm sure that there is. That's what I'm
a
saying. I'm ignorant to it.
gram weights. My wife and I probably 5, 6, 8 months ago, we're like, okay, you know what? We're actually going to sit down and we're going to weigh everything out. We're going to time it. We're going to do this thing. And next to it, we brewed just a scoop and dump and pour over. And the timed one, I don't know if it was some psychosomatic thing, but it did taste different. But I never do that. I have figured out that this scoop works for a 16-ounce cup, and this scoop works for the 10 to 12-ounce ones that we give away, because we never charge for coffee at events. We just give it away when people come up. So we've got that down. I don't have time to weigh, and there is a science to the pour
For
as
sure.
well.
Yeah.
There's a couple places here in town that you can go to and watch them do it. It'll take you 20 minutes to get a coffee. So it's we don't do that. The off-road world, I think more of us are into just a good cup of coffee in the morning or like halfway through the day to keep us going when we're out doing whatever we're doing.
Well, yeah, and the portability of it, like the ability to have a cup of coffee when you're on the campsite or on the trail or whatever. I think that's a big part of it. But I do know. I think to your point, Jose, there's way more science and technology that goes into it than I give it credit for, just because I don't drink much, and I'm sure that all of that plays into the flavors and the because these guys that they drink coffee, they're like, oh, this is a really good cup of coffee. Again, I don't know the difference.
I don't, again, because I'm a newer coffee drinker as far as I work in an office now, and I don't know good coffee from bad. It's just I don't have enough experience drinking coffee, so I'd assume your coffee's like really good. I was actually looking forward to trying it this
So some of
weekend. I got the little portable Keurig, or the
refillable.
yeah. So this was going to be the weekend to do it. And
That's the way to do it. Then if you want to give me that coffee, I can grind it for you.
Okay.
So we talked about my dad and coffee, right? So my dad, he is drinking coffee every day out of the same plastic cup he's probably had for 20 years. I
It's
believe there's electrical tape holding it together. One time when we were a kid, my mom's friend washed his coffee cup and he lost his shit.
Oh yeah.
He absolutely lost his shit. So he drinks that coffee.
That sounds gross. Wait, can you hold on? If there's mold
No, I
growing
didn't.
on,
Nope.
No,
You
it's
don't
just
wash a coffee.
no. So what it is on the inside of it?
hold on. No, this is a real question. If Jose's talking about mold on coffee beans, and then you're gonna drink coffee and not wash your mug, what kind of stuff's growing on?
Whatever it is, it's kept my dad alive for this long.
Oh wow!
So
is
on
that
the
like the magic elixir?
I think so, because on the
or,
inside of the cup, like the inside of it is brown, except for
where's
let's
go?
The very top.
No, except for the bottom 3/4 of the way up, because where his spoon hits the sidewall every time. So there's like a white stripe around the bottom of it.
Yeah.
So he is like, and it's, I mean, it like you, man, like whatever Stater Brothers is selling that's what I know the look on your face, right? But he refuses to eat some of that damn coffee.
Your dad refuses to do a lot of
Yeah,
things.
he refuses to drink coffee out of the Keurig It's the same. We can't
Yes.
explain to him. It's this, because it's not
What
like
kind
he's
of
a
coffee?
highfalutin.
You want Folgers?
Yeah.
I'll get Folgers.
He's not a
Dude.
highfalutin coffee guy. It's got to be the. So like 3 years ago, for Christmas, he bought my wife a regular coffee cup maker, and she has to bring it out every time my dad comes because he won't drink the coffee.
No Keurig.
Yeah, no, he won't do it, Dad. It's the water over grinds. It's the same. Nope, I'm not
We
drinking
have
that.
a
Make me go.
request for Pop to be the next guest.
Oh my God!
Oh,
Who asked for that? Oh,
Yeah.
RescueCon. That'd do
Yeah.
that. Sorry for the tangent, but this is what we do. So Pop is at Walmart last week. My mom's in the hospital, so Dad's having to do Christmas shopping, and he's on the phone with me trying to buy Christmas gifts for my 4-year-old little girl. And he's like, "Does she have a bike? Yes. Does she have a dollhouse? Yes. Does she have?" And I'm to the point. He's walking around like, "There's more damn people in this Walmart. They're gonna have to burn this place
Yeah,
down.
it's
They
the
can't."
week before,
Yes, he's
Christmas.
screaming.
Duh.
I'm like, "Hey, why don't you get her this?" He's like, "I don't know what you're talking about. I can't find it." And all of a sudden he says, "Hey, I found this frozen gift pack." I said, "That's exactly what she wants. Buy it. Pick that thing, and let's please get off the phone so we can do that. I don't want to do
Nice.
this anymore."
You're done with Christmas
Yes,
shopping and you're not
yes,
even there.
yes, it is. I am over it. So, so Pop on the next show would be absolutely hilarious. But
Just
I
on,
want
on any show, like he's gonna come down here on a Monday night.
no.
We just gotta interview him, or just record us talking to your dad about stuff. Well, actually, we gotta tread lightly on that.
Yeah.
As far as
It
that's
sounds like your
concerned.
dad and my dad would be there.
Ugh.
Because
Oh my God.
the coffee thing with the cup, I think it's been since I was a child. But his coffee is like the brown water you speak of.
Yeah,
It's freeze dried. And he
Oh.
just puts one spoonful in this big 32 ounce. I don't even know why.
And you're like, "Dad,
Ugh.
no, this is."
Yeah.
So this weekend, Matt had said, "Oh, I have some of that ground pound," and I wanted him to make it. I was like, trying to talk to my dad. I was like,
Yeah.
"Hey, Dad, will
Hey,
you try this
you're
for
a
me?"
coffee
You're-
aficionado.
Yeah.
You know,
And by
you read it.
aficionado, you've had Folgers and Eubank.
Yeah, well,
Um,
your entire life.
his
so
entire life.
So try this stuff. Maybe it'll be a game-changing thing.
And
you
he
know.
was willing to do it, but
Yes.
we didn't have the grinder thing.
Yeah.
So
But-
We've got to fix that.
Okay.
We've got to
we
fix
get you a. They have the. I had a buddy that's the only way he would make. He only bought beans, and he would
That was
grind them
Jose.
fresh.
Jose was talking about
Makes a
that.
huge difference.
Really?
Yeah, it makes a massive
Well, I can imagine that when it's ground up already in the can, it's like
oxidizes.
yeah, it's just preservatives or whatever to keep making it last, right? So
Yeah.
freshly ground probably tastes better.
Much. And you were talking about what makes a good cup as opposed to a bad
Yeah,
cup.
like what's the
Have you ever
what's
had
the
drank a cup of coffee and you feel like you got to go brush your teeth immediately after?
yes.
That's garbage
Yes.
coffee.
That's the donut shop brand that's like the common. It's always
Tammy
the one
loves that
that's
stuff.
left over.
Yeah,
I'll tell
the
you. at our
Keurig
office-
donut shop. Yeah.
Yes. So there's always like a variety, and everybody gets there's like two that go fast, and then there's the donut shop that's left over.
And there's a
and
reason.
you're desperate. You're like, dude, I just gotta have some caffeine. I got a lot of things I gotta do. Bring on the donut shop, whatever. I gotta have it. But you're right. Yeah. So okay.
So that's part of it. And then there's acidity levels, which we keep everything low. And you want a smooth drinker.
Yeah. That
And,
sounds.
So when you
right.
sip it and it's like, oh, it's like taking a shot
Jarring.
of whiskey.
Yeah.
Yeah. We were
Sorry.
talking about
Yes,
tequila
we were
things.
just talking about
Yes.
that. Like tequila, when people drink tequila, they all go, "Ah." Why do you drink something
Why?
that makes you go, "Ah"?
Right.
Like, I don't understand that.
Correct. So that's our goal, and that's why we probably get rid of more coffee than we actually put out. Because if it doesn't drink right, if it isn't smooth, if it doesn't finish nicely, we don't keep it.
Yeah.
So that's the biggest
Okay.
part, and the biggest challenge.
The biggest challenge is to get it right
Get it
and
right.
consistent, like over and over
And
and,
that's
over
like
again.
a combination of beans in order for that kind of flavor profile.
Yes, 100%. You
I
Look
just
at
use-
you.
Look at me.
Yeah.
Matt, you
Man.
just got so sophisticated right now. I don't even know
But I
who
did
you
the
are.
finger-
Yeah,
nobody
because
saw
you didn't
that,
know. No one
but
saw the
quotes.
finger quotes. But
profile.
and is it just the correct mixture of beans? Like this? I'm going to take this type of bean at this quantity and mix it at these percentages, and that gives the flavor, or is there other
Sometimes.
additives?
No, it's all the coffee. It's amount of time that you roast it, how hot it is when you roast it. There's a lot of things that go into it,
Oh,
and
yeah.
you can't just mix different beans because some beans might be bigger than others and have different moisture contents. And if you
Oh.
dump them all into one vat, the heat will burn one and not cook one enough.
Oh.
So you post blend them. That's what off the X is. Off the X is a post roast blend. It
So
has
you
light
roast it
and dark.
first and
Yeah.
then mix it together?
Yeah.
Oh, interesting. See, like again, I know there's more to coffee than brown water, but
So much more.
Okay, I got another question.
Okay.
And I just saw this on.
Is this
it
a
reminded
load
me of-
question?
No, this is silly. This is what I do on a podcast. I bring silliness. Why does coffee make you have to go to the doctor? I swear to God, I could drink like that first, and now I know what's going to happen.
You time it when you get to the
I look
office?
forward to it. Like, man, I'm going to take a nice coffee bill. This is going to be great. And you plan it. And I don't know if that's the specific. Maybe that's the donut shop coffee side effects, but.
You know what? There
why
are
is that?
coffees that do make you need to poo, and I don't know. I don't know if mine do that.
He's treating the question serious. Thank you.
I'm being serious because
Okay.
you're right. There are some coffees
Right?
that as soon
It's
as you
not
drink
just
it, you're like,
me.
oh.
Yeah, I would time that. I'd be like, I got a meeting at 9:45. I'm gonna have to drink my coffee at 8:15 to give it a chance
Cody,
to.
I'm telling you, you might want to think about coffee just for that aspect alone.
Maybe
Pretty
we need a
awesome.
poo brew.
Oh my
Oh.
God. Poo brew. Hashtag.
And call it the brown note from South Park. Do you remember that on South Park, the brown note?
Yes. Poo brew.
The poo brew.
Dude,
Oh,
I think
hashtag
I
poo
think you
brew.
nailed it right there. Like,
So
thanks
if we
to-
come out with it, I'll give you credit for it.
Oh
Thank you.
man, the
Oh, that's awesome.
So if you can't go, drink poo brew.
Poo brew.
No.
Poo brew for you.
There it goes.
Oh,
dude.
man.
There's going to be a shirt
Wow.
on the shop. Poo
Poo
Brew
Brew.
Coffee.
Poo brew coffee.
You know somebody's gonna come out with that.
There's already. So last week we had a conversation about hot dog broth tequila, and there's already, if you go to the
Poo
trade,
brew now?
Hot dog broth.
Oh,
tequila, yeah.
You missed out. It was good.
I don't know how I missed it.
No,
It was
it
great
was
episode.
horrible. But yeah, I think
brought
Poo
tequila.
Brew Coffee is the next shirt on the shop. I think
I think it's gonna have to happen. We may actually do it because
Awesome.
that is
Oh,
awesome.
Dude, that's
Yeah.
great.
What other kind of things like do you have planned? I know you said you got these new brews coming out. What's on the horizon? What's the next phase?
getting further out. So HQ1 is our delivery vehicle. It's also the brew shop. So we're doing massive upgrades. It's going into the shop January 4th. It'll probably be in there for a month. It's
Wow.
getting long arm suspension, 1-ton axles, new bead locks, new wheels, new tires, brake lines, J8 brake booster. It's just getting all kinds of
Wow.
stuff thrown at it. New drive shafts, 1350 drive shaft.
And that's, you said it was a 2015
15,
JK?
yeah.
JKU?
Yeah.
Wow. And that's so that you can get out into the community more. You can get out on the
Further
trail
out.
more. You can go be self-sufficient and do things. Very cool.
Right now we're concerned because I got to carry so much water and supplies and coffee, and the rig is already heavy.
I
And
didn't think
Dana
about that.
44s, they're sleeved and gusseted and all that high-speed stuff. However, on 37s and all that weight, every time we hit something hard, and I'm like, ooh.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just waiting to hear that crack, and that's not what I want to do. So the biggest thanks and what started this whole thing is Moss Brothers Jeep.
Oh.
They're the ones that are throwing the 1-tons under it.
Nice.
And I couldn't. It's just sparked this roll,
Yeah.
and we'll be able to get a lot of things much further away from people's normal realities.
That's
out in the
awesome.
adventure world.
That's awesome. And you'd mentioned that you've been to several of the community events, like the KC event
Oh, yeah.
recently.
Yep.
What? How does that work? I mean, do you just fit them in whenever you can, or do you have any that you have scheduled coming up?
Oh yeah, we've just now recently started to have to book them, and because before I was like, oh, nobody's gonna want this, and I found myself a couple times a weekend would come up and I'd be like getting bing bing,
Yeah.
you're gonna be at the event tomorrow. I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
I don't know what to do now. So now we've started booking them a little further out. We partnered with Weekend Off Road. We do a bunch of their stuff. A couple other KC. We do Rig for Dirt LA.
Yeah.
We've done their events. We're going to just try to get more and more of them. I'm the only one, so sometimes that really hurts, and I hate saying no to people because they just want to give the coffee
Yeah.
away to their people at the events. I'm kind of a prisoner, so if anybody goes to these events and they don't see me walking around conversing with anybody, I'm over there
Yeah, you're
making
slinging
coffee.
it. Yeah, you're
So,
working it.
Got it. Somebody made the mention of that at the last event I was at. They're like, "Oh, we didn't even see you there." It's like you must not have come over and got coffee. So
That's funny. Yeah, well, I would imagine you mentioned earlier about the rig carrying the water, and I would imagine that's a significant undertaking to get everything prepped,
Ugh.
get out there, actually make coffee all day long while people are doing the event. So I can't imagine that's I'm sure you're pretty exhausted at the end of it.
it's a full day the day before.
Yeah.
It's everything from propane, gas lines, filters, cups, lids, napkins, paper towels, trash cans.
Wow.
All the different coffees that have to be ground in order to. Because before, what I was doing was grinding out of the lint, and that took forever. Trying to make it as fresh as possible. So now I just grind it right before we go on the event.
We need to back in the day, the Jeeps used to have the PTOs, the power takeoffs.
Yeah.
So we need to set up a PTO on
That
the
would
back,
be
so you can just idle
epic.
and just start throwing them in, and have the grinders, like 4 grinders going off the back, and just boom, right?
I like that
Yeah,
idea.
yeah.
That could be really awesome.
Why did they get away from those PTOs? Those things were for the farm equipment and
You could
stuff.
use it for anything.
Yeah, those things were awesome.
Yeah.
That's like that attachment or something. I think I've seen like an old video.
Yeah.
Where you can put like if you're drilling post holes
Yeah,
or
yeah.
something like
Yeah,
that.
it came off. There was another knuckle basically
Another
off
drive
one of
shaft.
another drive shaft, and you just clip it in, and you had they had an auger, they had
You know why?
conveyors.
You know why it went away? Because nobody came out with the margarita machine.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. We make
you
a
sell that edition like Jeep Wrangler
With a
tequila
margarita machine built
machine
in.
adapter edition. Boom.
There may be
Boom.
some legal
Yeah, I think
ramifications
that's probably
to
why.
the idea of making alcohol with your vehicle. I don't know.
A lot of things will happen out there on the Mojave Trail. That's all I'm saying. And you know what? Just be responsible, people. That's all.
But you know,
Hashtag
Jeeps
that's
come
my
with
idea. You can't take. I always do that. Hashtag that's my idea. Like somehow that lines it down. You can't steal it.
But Your
Oh,
Honor,
oh,
I
shit.
said hashtag
Yeah.
my
Oh,
idea
shit.
on
He
December
hashtagged
23rd.
Damn it, he hashtagged it.
Yeah, now it's taken. You're done. You're done. So the rig's getting built. The new things are the new brews are coming out. 2020 seems like it's on a good trajectory going up. I mean, what
We're
kind
hoping.
of yeah? I mean, what kind of like what would be ideal for you with next step wise?
Oh, not to run out of coffee, so I completely misjudged this Christmas, and I ran out of 3 of our roasts.
No, that's a good problem to have. Though.
It is. Except for you need to go roast more.
Yeah,
And that takes some time. But yeah, the projection is to launch these 3 new roasts, and by June, I'd like to have at least 3 more. Because the larger the line, I think the more people that you can reach. Because not everybody is just a dark drinker or a light drinker. And you know what? So coffee. A lot of people have this idea that dark roast is the caffeine. But the light roast is the one with the caffeine.
Oh,
What?
really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, right?
Oh
See, I
my
just mind
God.
blown.
You're
That
doing it
is
wrong.
a game changer.
It
I've
is.
been avoiding light roasts.
So if you get a blonde espresso or a light roast, that's the one you want. That'll wake you up.
Holy cow.
Everybody's like, give me the strong one. I'm like, well, what do you mean? Flavor or caffeine? And I'm like, oh.
Oh,
Wow.
that's interesting. Because like when you crack open the sugar-free Monster, it's pretty much the same every single time. It doesn't matter.
Oh,
Wow.
Gross.
That's the level of my sophistication of my palate. It's either the Monster or the Diet Coke. Like that's
it.
I am a horrible. I recognize my vanilla-ness.
horrible.
I am a horrible. Now I lost my train of thought. We were talking about that. So the light roast is the stronger one.
Caffeine.
So for someone that doesn't like coffee, would the light roast be easier for like? Would it be what would be an introduction to?
If you didn't, so this has happened to many people. I've got several customers that didn't drink coffee, and they tried either Challenge or Adventure. And I just come up with a segue with Adventure. Adventure went to Mount Everest. Adventure has been a huge game changer with people. Right off the top of my head, I can think of 5 different people that didn't drink coffee before. They tried Adventure and they drink coffee.
Huh.
So Adventure might be the way to
I
go.
will just because my I remember way back. I think I told the story. Way back in the day in construction, like I was pissed off because at the time I was drinking like Mountain Dew, regular Mountain Dew. Energy drinks weren't a thing yet. And you'd go to the parts house in the morning on the way to a job site. No one had Mountain Dew, free coffee. Like everywhere you went, there's free coffee. No one had free soda, so I was like, I need to learn how to drink coffee. I didn't like it. And going to the shop and I pour myself a cup of coffee and I literally started adding sugar and cream until I could just tolerate it. And it was basically syrup.
Yeah.
And about 5 miles after we left the shop, we had to pull over so I could throw up. And I think that was the end of my coffee drinking. And I'm willing to give it a shot
That's,
though.
Cody's equivalent of like the tequila story we all have, where
Yes.
you know what it is. I remember the
I
first
got
time
burned
I
that one
tequila,
time.
and I
It was
got
a bachelor party.
shot. Yeah, I was puking my guts, except with Cody, it's freaking coffee.
Because I don't drink tequila either. I'm lame.
That's not
I'm
kind of
so
time.
lame. Like I'm my dad's biggest disappointment. I'm sure.
There are so many people that in your boat that
Yeah.
as soon as they pour a cup of coffee, next thing goes in is sugar,
Oh, yeah.
cream. And I've asked people, because the one gentleman in this entire game of mine has tasted and gone, oh. And I'm like, "Look, you don't like it? You don't like coffee?" And he goes, "Oh no, I love coffee just with all that stuff in it."
Oh.
And they're like, "So you don't really like
yeah,
coffee?"
yeah.
So I don't even put cream and sugar out usually. I hide it somewhere because I want people to try it live. Our coffees are specifically roasted to be good black. They're smooth, they're not bitter. That's the biggest part, I think. And a lot of people that think that they have to have cream and sugar have had the garbage coffees that kind of need sugar
You know what?
to knock that edge off.
I kind of, so again, I was not like Cody, but I would put like 2 sugars, 2 creams when I first started. But I think that's lame. Like, I know if you really like coffee, you wouldn't have to put stuff like that in. You wouldn't have to flavor, take an edge off or whatever. So I slowly weaned down, and now I just use like that 1 packet of like saccharin or like sugar. That's it. But watch. Like, the next month or 2, straight black.
Great black. There you go.
Okay.
There you go.
Props to me.
There you go. That's the way to do it. That's the
I
way to
got
do it.
this one.
What about you said earlier? You said you recently added tea to the lineup.
And
Tell
tea.
me about the tea.
So tea, people like yourself that don't drink coffee,
I
we
love
needed
tea,
to
though.
diversify. We have a minty green tea on point. A lot of people, once they try it, doesn't mean they're apprehensive. We just go another tea. And then we have an English coffee or an English breakfast tea or a black tea. The complete side note on those 3 things: perseverance, momentum, and opportunity all came out at the same time. So
I
there's
love those names, by the way. I love the names of the coffee. Like it's just as opposed to like red velvet cake or like a name of something. You're like, yeah, it's got a.
my daughter named it.
Really.
And we're driving along, and I have my 2 daughters in the back seat, and I'm like, "Okay, girls, we've got 3 new products coming out. One's a decaf coffee," and she fires almost immediately back, "Perseverance." I'm like, "Oh, that was quick." And yeah, I like that. So I was like, "Okay, so here's another one. It's a minty green tea." And she thinks you can see her back there ticking, and she says, "Momentum." Oh, yeah,
I
yeah,
love
really
it.
like
Yes.
that. And then,
What? You need to contract her out for marketing. I mean,
I'm serious. And then it was almost the same thing with the English breakfast tea, and she said opportunity because every morning is a new opportunity. I'm like,
wow.
"Man,
How old is she?
she's in the Navy. She's been there for about 6-8 months. She just got out of boot camp.
It's a
before
little
school.
less impressive. I know she's like,
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
on her
She's
way
a
to
genius.
greatness. Yeah,
Well, this
she's
was
great.
before that. She was in high school
She's in the
senior.
Navy. Oh,
Now.
all right. I mean, still cool.
Not impressed.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's
I just the names, like it makes you feel something. Like it's not just like English, English breakfast tea. It's like opportunity. I love that. So you were saying that those 3, they're out, they're ready now. Are they available now?
All of those are available now.
Okay.
Off the X is the newest one that's coming out, and that's going to be a totally different label. It's like a pirate map.
Oh,
It's
nice.
Off the X is kind of don't settle for any one adventure. Always move on to the next X.
That's awesome.
That's what Off the X was.
Chase your adventure.
Chase it.
Chase,
Absolutely.
chase your adventure. That's kind of our
I never said
slogan.
taste your adventure.
Oh! Even
All right.
hashtag Matt came up with that already.
Wait,
Taste your
hold on,
adventure.
I got it. Hashtag I came up with that. You can't taste.
Hashtag Matt's
That's how it
idea.
works. That's how it
Taste
works.
your adventure. That's
Taste your adventure.
there you go.
Yeah.
I think Matt's giving you that one.
I think
Go ahead.
You
You can
might
have
take
it.
that.
Go ahead. and take it. I mean, go ahead and take.
Well, you've already got
Hoobroo's happening.
Matter of fact, put them together. Brew. Taste your adventure.
I think that just went to a bad spot.
No, but you've already got
I don't want
adventure,
that
right?
coffee. Adventure. We
So
do
now
have
the
adventure.
tagline for adventure is "Taste your adventure," like, right?
So we're looking at a packaging change in this case.
Oh yeah.
But if you look at each one of our packages, like going the extra mile, down underneath it has a little explanation of what going the extra
Oh,
mile
very
means.
cool.
Same thing with perseverance. It's kind of like a definition. You know, there's people that want something different than just a bag.
Yeah.
Our first bags that came out, they were hand stamped.
Oh
Oh,
no.
that was a nightmare. So, and then we went to a printed bag, and that's the one with a massive failure. And I learned some lessons there. And now it's all a very long, meticulous process. And if you change even just one pixel on it, it has to be reapproved. Yeah, right?
Okay.
Yeah, no, thank you.
Well, so your idea about you have to come up with some other idea when they're ready for a new brew for
How to
packaging.
print bags? What?
No, I'm just saying it's the timing is right. You have to add before the bags are printed, before everything's all ready to go.
Okay. I just had
Sometimes you think of how
like, if you want to consult me for some coffee ideas.
Well, I do
Give
need
me a call.
to know how do we properly market the Kubru because I'm afraid that
Give me
people
some
might
time.
think it's differently.
No, I think you
We
are.
need to make it a positive thing.
Yes, well, you put
Of
you do a
course.
poo emoji with a happy face on it, like it's your morning.
Giving out
Yeah,
rainbows.
yes, it's like unicorn poop. That like
Oh my god, that commercial.
Yes, unicorn poop. Like it's the poo poo. I mean, it's like the best part of your day. What's the best
The
part
best
of
part
waking
of
up? No,
It's
brew in your cup.
Oh my god. There's some other videos that we don't need to go
Yeah.
to.
Oh,
no.
not- Look, do not search poo brew. Do not search poo brew
Don't do it.
yet. The email the SEO marketing has not been set up yet. You might be redirected.
It always goes south. You know?
Well, that you want it all to go south after you drink your coffee.
Oh.
There it is.
I know you love.
Hashtag Kubru.
I know you love. Stay over there.
This is the kind of humor you get. It's middle school entertainment
Hey, I
here
love
as
it.
far as
It's
we're
good
concerned.
I'm mentally well. You keep having me back, so
I have to. You're my sister makes me.
she makes me do a lot of things too.
And
All right.
and cut.
That was the
Alright,
segue.
So next on the show.
Hey, that's done. Well, Jim, I gotta say thank you for being brave and coming into this. I appreciate it, and I don't know if Murillo's gonna listen to this, but thank you, Bob, for hooking us up. I appreciate it. This has been really cool, educational for me because again, I don't know anything about coffee, and I'm going to give Adventure a try. Right, that was the one, Adventure?
Yes.
Okay, I'll give Adventure a try. My wife loves coffee, so if I don't finish it, she will. And then, what do you know what the next scheduled event is? Where can come people find you next?
Well, I don't, and the reason we haven't scheduled anything here soon is because the build
yeah.
I'm giving it a month
Okay.
because I'm gonna have to do it on weekends.
Okay. And what's the best place for people to go to buy your coffee?
Groundpoundercoffee.com.
Groundpoundercoffee.com. You're at ground_pounder coffee LLC on Instagram. And if you go to their website, there's all kinds of. It's a really cool website. You got a lot of swag there for shirts and hats and stuff, and gear. Oh, you've got the gear too for like the grinders and all that stuff. Is that what all this stuff is?
That hasn't been updated. It's kind of on me because we've had some delays and things. But the new AeroPress Go just came out. It's we sold out of the first group that we had almost immediately.
Okay.
That's pretty awesome for your adventures. Anybody out doing anything, I take it on flights with me.
Oh,
But yeah, we've got quite a bit of stuff in order to be able to make you brew your coffee on the go. And for the Keurig goers, one of our hosts here recently, Melita, actually reached out to us. We'll be carrying Melita products here pretty soon in order to facilitate K-Cup. They have a really nice reusable K-Cup. Has nice filters in it.
Huh.
We've been against the K-Cup. I'm not a green guy, but at the same time, two things about K-Cups: they produce marginal coffee, and they're super expensive.
Yeah.
What you pay and what you get.
Yeah.
So we're gonna have that stuff available here pretty soon.
And you've got these full-on kits here for with the propane and the stand and the brewer and the whole thing. So like when you're on the trail, you've got holy wowness. This looks like a science project. Like,
Holy wow.
holy wowness. Yeah. Small clip.
Hold on, I gotta lock that one back there. come up with like some really.
That's for, I didn't come up with that one. I took that from Smallfoot. If you haven't seen the movie Smallfoot, it's amazing. It's one of my favorite movies. My daughter watches it.
Don't start crying.
Look, we
Start
snuggle,
crying
we
again.
snuggle and watch Smallfoot. It's a beautiful story about a Yeti finding himself. And
Who
look,
do you snuggle with?
my daughter
Oh, I thought.
and my wife.
Yeah, you probably snuggle with Carlos.
Sometimes. So back to the website here. There's all kinds of gear here for the home brewer, the person who wants to enjoy the coffee at home and out on the trail. This is really cool stuff.
It was just recently partnered with MSR, and we had to have a way for people to heat water at the field. And we have one of the best products in the market, so, and multiple, so you can see the result of it.
Yeah. This is really cool. So I'm gonna do everything in my power to get my dad to taste of this because I want him to get away from the crap that he's drinking. And maybe what we'll do is
You have to switch it out.
we have to switch it out. We'll pull on like
Isn't that like an old coffee switch? Yeah,
ground pounder adventure.
This is the greatest.
Oh, so what would be the right brew for like a crotchety old bastard?
Crotchety old bastard ale.
Hashtag crotchety old bastard coffee.
If you want them up and going, then it would be going the extra mile.
No, I don't think he needs the caffeine.
You know, it's yeah, I don't know.
Something smooth and easy drinking, challenge.
Challenge. Okay, I'm gonna get some challenge for Dad. See if we can fix him. See if we can get him
You
away
gotta
from it.
switch it out though.
Yeah. Oh,
It's gotta be.
well. The
Like
next
that.
time he comes here, we'll pull out the coffee maker he bought Tammy, and be like, yeah, we'll have like a Folgers can, and
Yes.
inside of it be a bag of challenge, and just make it that way.
There you go.
Here's the sad thing.
You have to make somehow convince him to do the brewing, so somehow when he tastes it, he thinks like, I did a good job.
No, well, that's what I was gonna say.
made
The,
it
the
better.
sad thing is he won't. The
You don't
sad,
think so?
the sad thing, if it's brown and it didn't come out of a Keurig, like that's he's. I don't think he would be like, yeah, it's good. Well, is it good coffee? It's good, and he would just drink it. Like he has no appreciation for the nuance in anything.
I can see that. I can see
So, old military
Oh, yeah.
coffee out of a sock guy. So
the stand-up coffee.
yeah.
Yeah.
So, anyways, we're gonna try to get him to switch. I'm gonna try adventure, and then we'll go from there. But thank you so much for being here. This was a good time. Thanks for hanging out in the studio. For those of you on the live feed, we're gonna cut off for a minute. We're gonna give Jim a chance to cut out of here, say goodbye to him, and we'll jump back on the live feed in a minute. We can leave the live feed running. It's not gonna hurt anything. We're just not gonna be in.
No, it's not gonna hurt me. I mean, as long as we not plan on doing anything weird.
The live just ended. The live just ended by itself.
That's like
Timing. So, all right, that's it for anybody else listening to live, and then we'll come back on in just a minute. Thanks, man. This was awesome.
Good stuff. Hey, I gotta tell you,